little bit of a workshop for you today. I love giving you workshops or doing workshops because it's all about educating you so that you don't get taken advantage of. And today's workshop is titled, "What's Your Rate?" Well, if you call a lender and they tell you and they answer the question, likelihood is they're lowballing you. They're just giving you an answer to appease you and maybe just to get you to take some sort of action on what they're doing. I will explain. So whenever we go in as a lender, and I do lead a lending team, and I got a great team of people that are doing the loans while I'm talking to you on radio. We go into our software, put in a bunch of statistics. There are probably 37 or more what we call loan level price adjustments. And these are all things that make you unique. So if you hear somebody on the radio saying, I can do that loan at 5% interest, and I'm going to give you just numbers right here. I'm not giving you APRs and everything else. I'm not giving you any kind of an offer, trying to just educate. So they say they can give you a 5% interest rate. Great. You might look and then you call the next person and they say, well, our interest rate is 6%. And you call the next one and they say, our interest rate is 7%. Well, every one of them is exactly correct. Let's take a look at our first chart, Josh. So what we're showing right here, and Josh, I don't know if you can see that or if you need to just take me off the screen or put me in a bubble down there on the bottom. I think we have that. There we go. Perfect. That might be the best we can do. So if you look at this pricing chart, this actually shows prices in the first column or interest rates all the way from 5% to 7.5%. Every one of those are available today. Again, I don't know your unique situation. If you matched every one of the criteria as I threw in here just to demo this, these are the prices that are available for today. Now, along the next column, you're seeing that's principal and interest payments. So you could get a payment anywhere from $27.70 on this chart all the way to $36.08 and everything you see there in between. Everyone is accurate. So that's why it becomes, what's the strategy? What are we trying to accomplish? If you've gone and gotten pre-underwritten from our team, well, then you can go to the next column and see what the cost is for that loan. And the reason I say you can go to the next column is because you're already pre-underwritten. You've got it going into contract now. 15-day closing is not that difficult once you've already been pre-underwritten. We need to get an appraisal. We need clear title. And we need the contract. And you're ready to close. Or you can go any one of the next ones. 30 days to close, 45, 60. That's what all those columns are for. Now, what do the numbers that are in there mean? Well, those are pricing numbers. And it's all based on 100. So if on the very first column, you'll see that it says 90.927. In order to get that, you have to take 100 minus 90.927, and it comes out to roughly 11. So it's going to cost 11% to get that rate. If you go all the way to the bottom, it says 99.218. Again, 100 minus 99.218, let's call it roughly 8.8. It's going to cost 0.8% on the loan amount, or 0.8 to get this. That's where these numbers come from. So every one of those numbers makes sense. Now, you've heard us talking over and over again about buy-down opportunities, rsrbuydown.com, rsrbuydown.com, and you'll be able to see what buy-down opportunities are. We go through all these different ways, and some of them help you qualify for more with more purchasing power. So instead of buying a $600,000 house, you might be able to qualify for a $700,000. Or instead of the $900,000, you can buy the $1 million. You qualify because of the correct strategy. The correct strategy also means putting down the correct down payment. We had someone the other day came and said they were going to put down $150,000. Well, $150,000 worked out to 23% down payment. We came and said, well, why are you putting down 23%? Let's do a 20% down payment and use the other 3% to help get you a better interest rate. Go back to the chart. Let's take a look and see. What we want to do is look to the interest rate that's closest to 97. So you can see on that chart, 97 is very close to that 6.5 interest rate. So the difference between the 6.5 interest rate and the 7.5 interest rate is about $340. I'm doing it off the top of my head, but it looks like it's about $340 a month savings. So you're putting the exact same amount of money into the property because you're not using it as a down payment. You're helping buy down the rate. So when people come and say, Ron, I don't want to pay any points, my question is, do you like paying a higher payment? Because that's what's happening here. They're making a higher payment because they've got a misconception of points. Points are not bad. They are part of a strategy. We use them all the time strategically. And here, we just showed you how to save $3,600 a year, which is $108,000 over the life of the loan. $108,000. Now, I never had somebody come to me and say, Ron, I don't want to save $108,000 on this loan. But I've had many, many people say, I don't want to pay points. Well, they translate. One goes into the other. Now, let's go back and look at another chart here. We've got another one to show you. Here's one where we actually did some of these things. And you can see on this chart, and this is not exact. This wasn't done for this purpose. I just grabbed this real quick so I could show it to you. So we had a $625,000 purchase price. You can see that in column 1. You see a loan amount of $500,400 at a 7.25% interest rate. And this one here, we did have the APR at 7.473. And the payment comes out to $41.75 a month. Nice. Okay, I like that. Now, what I was actually showing here was what happens if people drop the price by $30,000 to $595,000. Interest rate doesn't change when you drop the price, but the payment amount does change to $396. And I should have, I don't know if I kept this on my screen here or not. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I may have it. I may not. Okay, yep, there it is. So I have it on my screen. I didn't share this with the slides I sent Josh. Sorry. That saves $208 a month is what that one saved by lowering the price. So if you were thinking of buying a $625,000 house, it's listed at $625,500, and you said, I'm going to offer $595,000, great. You're going to save $200 a month on your payment. Strategically, let's go to a strategy. Let's go back and leave it at $625,500. And let's ask the seller, hey, Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, I was going to offer you $595,000, but how about giving me $30,000 to help me qualify and have a lower payment? Now, right now, as of a week ago Friday, there was a report that came out from the National Association of Home Builders that 60% of home builders are offering a concession on the price, on their prices. What is a concession? Well, if you're looking at this, $30,000 on that payment assistance plan, that's called a concession. What do you use that for? Well, you use that to pay points. Oh, they ever feared points. We don't want to do points. Why not? Well, we can bring that interest rate down on this scenario to 5.25%, bring the payment down to $3,524, saving $650 a month. $650 a month. Again, okay, $650 a month. We paid those points. We got it. Okay, let's take it the next step. How much is this going to save me over, can I go with 13 years? Why do I use 13 years? Because that's how long we're keeping our houses now. So over 13 years, under scenario 1, we're going to pay $431,787 in interest. Asking for a price reduction, we're paying $410,732 in difference. Payment assistance, go back to the higher price, ask for the concession. We're paying $303,000 in interest. And am I right that that's $128,000 saved? Now, again, Do you want to pay points to save $128,000? I would say the vast majority of people will say yes. I'm willing to pay the points, Ron, to save $128,000 as long as the points don't cost me. Wait, the seller was paying the points, so it's not costing you anything. So points are not bad. Strategy beats rate always. Strategy beats rate always. That's the workshop for today. How about paying points? Or what's my rate, I think is what we called this one. What's my rate?